Hey, Healing Family. I wanted today to touch base and do a car, in between your busy schedule, quick practice round for brain retraining. And just to show that we can really be practicing these skills any day, anytime, no matter where we are, no matter how much time we have, what's going on in our lives. It's so important to just take some time to breathe and feel. So we're going to start by placing one hand on our chest and one hand on our belly. We can close our eyes or just soften our gaze on something peaceful to look at, on our surroundings if we're in nature, or if we're closing our eyes, visualizing a place that feels safe and relaxing. We're going to begin by breathing deeply in for 1, 2, 3, and breathing out 2, 3, 4. Now breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we can stay with that breath pattern, with working on keeping our exhale slightly longer than our inhale to really switch us over to parasympathetic mode. Or we can just work on keeping what other breath feels good to us in this moment and finding a breath that feels comfortable and safe. We're going to take a moment here to visualize a place that feels safe for us. And we are going to ground ourselves with our senses. So whether this is grounding ourselves in a place that we are envisioning in our mind's eye, or grounding ourselves in our current surrounding, we're going to start by feeling the sensation of whatever is supporting us right now, whether that is our feet on the floor, or our back on our seat rest, or if we're laying down, wherever we are, we're going to visualize and really feel that sensation, that embodiment of the safety that we are feeling, where we are supported by our environment. We're going to notice if there's any sounds, and if there's anything that maybe sounds distracting, we're going to work on understanding that things aren't always ideal. We're not always in the perfect situation, and that's okay. We can still focus on our rest and our breath and our peace wherever we are. And if we need to, we can envision a relaxing sound. We can imagine that we are hearing something beautiful, like the waves crashing against the shore at the beach, or the wind through the trees, or birds singing. Whatever that is, focusing in. And let's focus on what we see around us, whether that's right in front of us, wherever we are today, or what we're envisioning in our mind's eye as our safe place. And just take a few moments looking around, noticing all the beautiful things that give us that sense of grounding and peace and safety. I'm looking and I'm seeing a beautiful tree with moss hanging down, and I'm seeing birds jumping around the branches, and the flowers from the crepe myrtles are coming out and blooming, and they're just very beautiful, and the grass is green, and I can see the wind rustling the leaves, and that looks very peaceful. So wherever we are, whatever we're imagining, noticing how that grounds us in this moment. Now we're going to reflect on what safety means to us, what peace means to us. Peace doesn't mean that you're somewhere that is completely perfect all the time. That's not reality. That doesn't exist. And I think that we have to work on accepting where we're at and creating a sense of peace that we carry within ourselves and that we can find refuge in and bring with us wherever we go. Whatever religious tradition you follow, there is that sense of finding peace within yourself, within the energy around you, taking refuge in something larger than yourself that also dwells within you. And that never means that every situation around you is perfect. It means that you find peace sometimes within a peaceful setting, but you also find peace when you are surrounded maybe by chaos or fear or negativity. You have that ability within you to cultivate a safe place and to find refuge and to find hope. And so we're working on that today, that duality, that we might not be in an ideal situation. We could be in our car waiting for something. We could be surrounded by chaos. We might be having a trigger or a flare-up or a difficult time in a relationship. But we still have the ability to find refuge and peace and healing no matter our circumstances, no matter our settings and our surroundings. We can always come back to our breath. We can always come back to our truth, to the goals and values that we have set for ourselves. Sorry, I had to silence a call, which further shows that today is a day that is not about perfection. Today is a day that is about being where we are at and that it is okay. I am working really hard to let go of either it's perfect or it's nothing, and that we always should still try, even when it comes to healing, to goals that we have, whatever it is. The fact that we're showing up is so important. That is the work, right? And some people are able to show up and do a lot. And that's great for them. We're not all there all the time, right? And it's okay. It's okay. And to hold space for ourselves and have compassion for our own journey, our own place, to love ourselves unconditionally and to have compassion for where we are, no matter what season we're in. That is where deep limbic system healing comes from. And when we are engaging in this act of retraining our brain, signaling to our amygdala and all of our internal alarm systems that we are safe, that comes not only on the basic level of telling our amygdala to calm down and not worrying about the threats or triggers around us. It comes from a deeper inner sense of silencing that inner critic, not silencing it in a negative way, but silencing it by saying, like, what are you really trying to tell me? Like, why do I feel that things have to be perfect? Because they don't. There is no prize. There is no report card on life that you have to get straight A's. And we're going to do better if we show up consistently and do just what we can that day than if we say, well, I can't do it perfect, or I can't do it the way I used to, so I just give up, right? That phrase, like, C's get degrees, comes to mind. And I know that's not teachers' favorite phrases, but honestly, if you can show up and do just what you're capable of, and you can consistently put forth enough effort to pass the day and do the things that you need to do, we should be celebrating that, because we're all going to consistently end up better than we started if we show up, if we keep just doing the work. So whether someone maybe today needs to hear this because they're judging themselves that their house isn't perfectly clean, as long as you put those dishes in the dishwasher today, it's okay if you're stepping over piles of clutter. If you're here because you're trying to get back into getting more active with your body, and you used to be someone who could go to the gym or run, and for you today it is physical therapy or stretching or doing 5 minutes of yoga just to move your body, to see what it feels like, to reimagine with curiosity how your body feels in your current reality, which is always shifting and always changing. It's okay. Give yourself credit for what you're doing. Do not hold yourself to such high standards that it feels impossible, or that you sabotage, or that you don't give yourself a chance to make any progress because it can't be perfect, right? It's all about progress, not perfection. And there is no finish line in life. We are never, even in healing, we are never going to reach a state of full healing, full health, being perfect. That doesn't exist. Every single day since we're born, our bodies are growing and changing. Cells are reproducing and growing, and some cells are dying, and we are regenerating, and we are at the same time, aging. And there is such a beauty to that, but it's also scary because we like to live in a world where it's like, well, I'm healing and I'm going to get back where I'm perfectly fine, and that doesn't exist, right? So we need to have patience, and we need to get out of this all or nothing mindset. And our goal is, how do I show up authentically today and say to myself, I am totally fine as I am. If I want to do anything extra today to feel better, and if I have the energy to push to try something new and be curious about what that could look like, that's awesome. But if all I do today is just show up and do some of my connection with myself and practice compassion and love for myself and those around me, that is a beautiful thing too. And that is a very worthy day to have. And some of our deepest healing is going to come in those moments of, well, I tried my best and it wasn't perfect, because perfectionism is one of the biggest triggers for limbic system dysfunction. When we talk about our limbic system getting damaged through trauma, a lot of trauma comes from this idea of how something was supposed to be and it didn't work out that way, or someone who was supposed to be safe and they weren't, or a situation where we were feeling perfect and then something really brought us down and all of a sudden we weren't anymore, and we started to question our worth and our value based on how we identified with thinking we needed to be perfect, in perfect health, in perfect relationships, in perfect jobs, whatever that looked like that maybe we felt a loss of. It is okay to always have an ever-changing reality and an ever-changing goal, and to feel okay in this moment where you are right now, and to know that there is no right or wrong, there is no straight A, there is no way that you're supposed to be. You are working on accepting where you are and loving yourself no matter what. That is going to do more for your nervous system and your limbic system regulation and healing than setting any sort of lofty goal. And there is no perfectionism even in limbic system training. In fact, too much perfectionism in brain retraining and limbic system healing is going to be playing against you. So it's awesome if you're incorporating journaling and you're keeping track of how many rounds you're doing, and you're going to yoga classes and you're setting up time to do these things, and that's amazing. But it's okay if it changes day to day. It's okay if sometimes one thing feels good and another day you want to do something totally different. The important thing is you're not judging yourself. You're not holding yourself to an impossible standard. You are perfect just how you are, and every day that you show up and experiment and hold space for yourself and try something different, that is where the healing and the work takes place. So I really, really hope that all of you today were able to work on finding self-love and compassion through this practice. And I want us just to close out by saying, I am enough. I am full of love. I am powerful. I accept where I am. I have hope that things will always get better. And I know that no matter what, I am a beautiful, worthy person who deserves to be here, who does my best, and who carries the beauty of the world within me. Thank you guys so much for showing up today. I hope you have a great day full of healing and love. I'll talk to you soon.